Now, coming back to what we discussed yesterday, we kind of completed with column chart and bar chart. Um, Now we'll start with a new discussion today, an interesting discussion. One of the most important question which is asked in interview to filter out candidates. See, nowadays, anyone or any individual who mentions Power BI in their resume, the only option interviewer gets is how good is he in Power BI? He or she is in Power BI. So there are many things, many aspects which an interviewer thinks or interviewer uses to filter the candidates. Now, anyone who is learning Power BI, they only know drag and drop. Okay, that's good. I mean, if you're dragging, if you're getting some information, you're creating visuals, okay, that's good. That is only Power View. Apart from it, you need to understand some basic architecture of Power BI, how the Power BI tool is developed, what is the engine which is present back of it, and how that engine works. The most common question which is asked in interviews to filter the candidate is, what is Power BI architecture? Now, architecture, that doesn't mean you need to know end-to-end architecture. If you know how the engine works, how the Power BI engine works, how the information is stored in Power BI, that would definitely help you to clear any kind of interviews. If you know this question, this is the only question mostly an interviewer asks to filter the candidate whether he has learned Power BI just to drag and drop the visuals or he already knows in depth of Power BI. Now, what is Power BI architecture? How Power BI engine works? Power BI is developed on top of an engine called as VertiPaq Engine. There is a name given for this engine called as VertiPaq Engine. Now, what is VertiPaq Engine? Is columnar database. It is a columnar database. Now, what is columnar database? How it works? Some of you will feel these words are technical. No, these are not technical. These are the standard words which are given to certain components. Now, how this works is, let me explain it in a diagrammatic representation. Now, if you're using a Power BI, any respective tool, if you use, there is a background processing engine, right? Engine means some machinery is present. Machinery, that doesn't mean you will be able to view it. It just you have to imagine that this is how the Power BI engine is developed and this is how it processes the data. Now, this is our Power BI. Behind of it, there would be some engine, an engine which is helping us to process the information. So how this engine will work? This engine is called as VertiPaq Engine. A name given to it is VertiPaq. Remember this name. This is very, very important. And if you are being asked in interviews how Power BI processes information, you can always say that it is VertiPaq Engine. Now, why is it called as columnar database? Why is it called as columnar database? I'll simplify this answer for you with one example. Let's assume this blue Power BI is one data set, right? In a Power BI, we are getting some information from certain different sources. So you're trying to get some information maybe from a SQL table. SQL is what? Relational database. And you want to get this information from a table present in a SQL. So that table will always contain information in rows and columns, right? This is Power BI, and that information is always present, which you're calling, which you're trying to connect to the SQL, is always present in rows and columns, right? This is your row, this is your row, this is your row, this is your row, and this is your column. This is your column. Now, why is it called as columnar database specifically? Let's suppose I'm trying to enter some information, right? understand what is this information. Now, if you take a look at this table, there are, forget about the first row, there are three rows, A, B, C, and there are five columns, right? Now, this is one column, this is second column, this is third column, this is fourth column, this is fifth column. Now, how the information scan happens in the VertiPaq engine? Would you think that information would be read from left to right, which is a row? Row is from left to right, right? This is row. And column is from top to bottom. This is column. So how the information is read in Power BI VertiPaq Engine is, it is always read in a columnar manner. The information is stored in a columnar database format. Now, why only columnar is, let's suppose you want to read an information. Our human tendency is, how do we read? We read from left to right, right? While writing it in a notebook also, while writing or while reading it from a textbook or a reference book, we always read from left to right, not from top to bottom. But VertiPaq engine reads information from top to bottom. Why is it the case is, if you're reading from left to right, A is a string information, right? A is a string information, this A. 1 is a numeric information. This is a, again, numeric, but this is a decimal information. B2 is a combination of string as well as numeric, which is also, you can call it as a string information. Hash is a special symbol. So how many times the data type has changed? Here the data type has changed. Here the data type has changed. Here again it has changed. Here it is again changed, and here it is again changed. So 5 different column has 5 different values. So data type is getting changed every time if you're reading from left to right. So if still it will read, even if the data type is different, it will still read the information. But if it is reading separate data types at every interval, it might take 20 seconds to read this complete single line. This is just an example. I'm not saying it would only take 20 seconds. It might be faster than that also. But just as an example, if it is taking 20 seconds to read from left to right, assume that if there are 3 columns or if there are 3 values, right? 3 rows. So 20 for first row, 20 for second row, and 20 for third row. So how many seconds it took? If it is reading from left to right, it is taking 60 seconds. Right? From left to right, it is taking 60 seconds. Now, coming down, if it wants to read from top to bottom. Now, for top to bottom means, that means one column. For this column, the data type is string. So it will never change until and unless it will read this complete column. 1, 2, 3, it might take 2 seconds here. Because it is of same data type. Again, it will take 2 seconds here. Again, it will take 2 seconds here. This is just an example. It might take 10 seconds also, it might take 5 seconds. But comparatively faster than left to right, because if it is reading from top to bottom, it is of all similar data type. Data type change is not required, right? Until and unless you are changing a column, the change of data type is required. Now, for this one complete column, B2, B4, B6, it is all string. It will take 2 seconds. Again, it will take 2 seconds at the last. So somewhere, if there are 5 columns, 5 into 2 is 10 seconds. So columnar database will take 10 seconds, and row-wise information might take more time to read the information, because left to right, if you're reading, you have to change your data type. That engine has to adjust itself, and it is a time-consuming process. Whereas if it is reading from top to bottom, for that one single column, the data type change is not required until and unless you're going to a new column, a fresh column. Right? Once complete ABC is read, it will again go to fresh column 1, 2, 3. Once complete 1, 2, 3 is read, it will again go to fresh column 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. All this is read. So time taken to read the information in columnar database is comparatively very low as compared to a normal left to right row-wise reading. That is why Power BI is developed in a columnar database format. That's how it will help you to process the data comparatively way more faster. I'll take a pause Any question on this explanation? Any question? Now, not even a single question. That means I assume that you might have completely understood it. This is the exact explanation which interviewer expects, that how Power BI is faster because it is developed on a VertiPaq engine. VertiPaq engine is your columnar database. This is how it will read the information. And VertiPaq engine has two components present in it, right? Power BI not only, it will not only read the information, it also has to process the information, right? It also has to develop some formulas. So VertiPaq engine has two sub-components. One is storage engine and one is formula engine. FE and SE. Both are there. This is not optional. Both. Rather, I'll keep it as and. Right? FE is your formula engine. SE is your storage engine. Now, what is formula and what is storage? Let's suppose you have loaded data to the Power BI, which is a columnar database. Once you load, it will not only store the information, it will also process some logics, right? You need to write some tax functions, you need to do some transformations in Power Query. So formula engine is the one which will help you to process any formulas or logics present in the Power BI, present in the VertiPaq engine. Now you want to write some formula, that formula will reach out to the formula engine to process that logic. And what is storage engine? Storage engine is a standalone blind engine. Blind means it will only store the information. It is only for storage. It will not process any logic. If you want to process any logic, it will again come down to the formula engine and it will process that logic and it will go ahead and sit back in the storage engine. Because once the logic is processed, it has to be stored somewhere. Where it will be stored? It will be stored in the storage engine. So VertiPaq has two sub-components. One is FE, which is used for logic processing, and one is SE, which is used to store the information at a certain place, which is storage engine. Again, I'll take a pause. Any questions on this FE and SE?
Hello.
Good.
Yeah, I have doubt.
Bhavani, go ahead.
Can you please explain FE once again?
Okay. FE is nothing but your formula engine. Now, what is formula? Right? In Power BI, we not only load the data, we have to do some calculations. Now, let's suppose there are three, okay, this line, right? Consider the second column. I want to sum up the values. So sum of column 2. So what would be the sum? 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 is 6. So how this 6 will be calculated? This 6 will be calculated with the help of formula engine. And once the 6 is calculated, it will go back and sit in the storage engine because that formula logic, logic building or whatever you want, that is done. It has to be stored somewhere. It will go back and sit in the storage engine. All these values will also be stored in the storage engine only. But if you are performing some logics, if you're performing some calculations on any of the columns or rows, it has to be calculated via formula engine. Formula engine is not always active until and unless if there are some logics required to be processed, formula engine will become active. And once that calculation is done, it will become inactive. Is it clear?
Yes, it is clear. Thank you.
Hello.
So
Hello.
formula engine is not always busy. Storage engine is always busy because somewhere the storage has to be there, right? Power BI means you have to load some data. Where it will store, it will be stored with the help of the storage engine. And storage engine is comparatively very, very slow because it is only for storage, right? It is not processing any information. Formula engine is very, very fast.
Hello.
Good.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gajendra here. Sir, could you please explain that why the processing is very fast at while doing from left to right? Why it is taking 20 seconds from top to bottom? Could you please explain that?
Top to bottom is fast, left to right is slow.
Yes, sir. Huh.
You're you're confused. You're doing it vice versa. Left to right, why is it slow again?
No.
You know what is data type? You know what are data types?
Yes, sir. I mean, alphabets, numbers, and numeric values,
Yeah,
and
yes, yes.
special
So
character.
if you're reading from left to right, you
Okay.
have to read A, which is alphabet. You have to read one. That engine has to adjust itself. That one is numeric. Again, if it goes to 2.1, that engine has to adjust itself that it's a decimal value. Again, if it is going to read B2, it has to adjust itself that it's a combination of character as well as numeric. That means it's a string value. Again, if it is going to hash, hash is a special symbol. So that the engine has to adjust itself. So for reading from left to right, engine has to adjust every time for every one single value. Whereas if you're reading from top to bottom, if you're reading ABC, engine will adjust only once. Again, if it is going to 1 to 3, engine will adjust again only once. So it can read fast as compared to left to right rather than top to bottom.
Yeah. Okay. What if the data type is changing up to down?
How it will change?
Just I'm asking, sir.
Again, I'll open. I'm not sure if you have attended yesterday's session.
Yes, sir.
If you have opened the Power Query editor,
Okay.
it's a very basic logic that if I open Power Query editor, I might have shown you on the day 3 that once you load a data, if you want to change the data types, the Power Query engine itself is a smart that will change the data types. Would you think data type will change for one column?
No,
Data
no,
type is
no.
common.
Yes, sir.
That's the reason it will read that data very fast. So if there are now, how many records are there here? Let's assume there are more than 1,000 records for this um, electronic store data set. So if you're reading left to right, it has to change the engine again and again. Now I haven't mentioned date here. One of the cell will present date. So if it's a date, if it is reading from this way, I'll take a snapshot and then again I'll explain it so that it's again easy for you to understand. Let's only focus on these columns, right? Order quantity until order quantity. So if you want to read information, there are 22 records as of now. If you want to read an information from left to right, from here to here, first thing is this is numeric, this is date, this is decimal, this is numeric or decimal, this is also numeric. So how many times it has to change that engine, adjust that engine here, here, here. Okay, these two are same. Even the last one is different. So 4 times it has to adjust. Whereas if you are reading the values from top to bottom, it will read all these values very fast. Again, it will come and it will read all these values fast. Again, it will come and adjust. It will read all these values very fast. It will come here and it will read all the values very fast. So that's how columnar database is faster as compared to a normal left to right data scan. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, complete Power BI, including Power Query, everything is VertiPaq Engine. It will, whenever you do some calculations in DAX, it will go to DAX is not formula engine. DAX will go to formula engine. Don't blindly assume anything. Whenever some logics will come, it will go to formula engine. Formula engine is not storage engine. Formula will never store anything. It will only process that information and it will dump back to the storage engine. Same, if you're doing some calculations, if you're filtering some information, or here you have an option, right? You can add some columns also, add multiple subtract. In Power Query, there are multiple things which you can do. So if you're doing something here, even this will be calculated as if you're doing some calculations in the formula engine. Power Query is not a storage engine. Power Query, if you're doing some calculations, it will go to formula engine. And once that is done, it will come back to the storage engine. Blindly don't assume anything. Again, I'll take a pause. Any questions on this FESE VertiPaq, how the information is read, why columnar database is fast? And this is one of the most important question which can be asked in interviews. Why? Because this question will help you to filter out whether that person has only learned Power BI, just drag and drop, or he knows the architecture of Power BI. Okay, if there are no questions, let's head over to the Power BI, the Power View. Now we kind of discussed column chart and bar chart. Let's try to start with a different chart today. Now I'm copying that charts, the clustered column chart. Why am I copying is I can change, right? I can use this chart and I'll come down. Now I'll cover these last two charts in the row one, maybe from Monday or on Tuesday, because these charts are slightly different. Now I'll come down to the line chart. See what I've done? I've copied that clustered column chart and I've directly changed it to line chart because I don't want to format this again and again. This is our line chart. What is line chart? Line chart is nothing but a trending information. You want to give some trend of information. This line chart is the best chart to give you some trend of information. Now, even for a line chart, there would be x-axis and y-axis. Even for a line chart, there will be x and y. X is your horizontal line, y is your vertical line. Right? This is x and this is y. Horizontal line, vertical line. Now, what is the difference is in case of line chart, there will no, I mean, there'll be no histograms. Histograms mean there is no bar like this, or there is no bar like this. Bar means column or bar. These components are not there. It will only highlight the important points. Now, in case of line chart also, x-axis has to be some categorical data. It has to be some categorical data only. Because numerical data will always come in the y-axis. If it's numeric, it has to be in the y-axis. So if it's a categorical data, let's suppose it is A here, B here, C here, D here, and E here. So for A, if the value is here, it will point. Line chart, how it works, it will have some pointers. B, there is a pointer here. C, there is a pointer here. D, there is a pointer here. And E, there is a pointer here. So this will work like this. With that pointers, it will create a line. This is your line chart. Now, one of the most important factor for a line chart is line chart will always have a secondary y-axis. We have a primary y-axis towards left. Line chart is a different chart. It behaves in such a manner that it will also have a secondary y-axis, which is towards right. Even secondary y-axis has to be numeric only. Now, how come secondary y-axis is beneficial? Assume that I want to take 2 or 3 trends, right? If you take 2 trends, it would be very confusing here. Why can't I take a secondary y-axis? If I go back again, see, channel is in the x-axis, sum of profit is in the y-axis. Now there is this legend is also there. Legend means different colors, right? For Asia, it is dark. Europe, I mean, we already seen what is legend. In line chart also, legend will partition the information. Now, I want to show along with this sum of profit, I want to show sum of order quantity. What is the sum of order quantity? How many quantities of products were ordered? So how do I show it? If I show it in the additional y-axis, it will not work, right? Because one at a time axis would be visible. So for that reason, the line chart is developed in such a manner that it should have a secondary y-axis. So you have this option called a secondary y-axis. I'll drag and drop that order quantity. You see, if I'm dragging, something is missing, right? It is not taking, it is going back. Now, what is it? Because in case of line chart, you can take only 3 conditions at a time, not all 4 conditions: X, Y, secondary Y, and legend. So as of now, there are 3 conditions are satisfied. X is there, Y is there, and legend is there. Now, if I remove legend and if I'm trying to take order quantity, this will work. Because you need to differentiate the colors also, right? Dark is for sum of order quantity, which is secondary y-axis, and white light blue is sum of profit, which is for primary y-axis. Now, if I take a legend, even this will not work because legend will have a different color. So different colors cannot be taken here. Either you can go with secondary y-axis or either you can go with legend. X and Y should be present. There should be X and Y. But if you want secondary y-axis, there shouldn't be any legend. If you want legend, there shouldn't be any secondary y-axis. That's how the line chart will work. And line chart, as I've seen, so at every point, at a store, there is one pointer. Whenever you hover on it, it will show some pointer. Whenever you hover on it, it will show some pointer. I mean, it is showing that pointers, right? It is showing that pointers. Now, if you go to, I mean, we are in the add your data to a visual, right? You can go to the format your visual. You have all the formatting options which you have got in the line chart as well as, which you have got in the column and bar chart. Almost all the options are there. So along with this, there is this option called as markers, right? Whenever you are hovering on a particular x-axis component, it is giving you that marker, but I want that marker to be permanently visible. Only when I hover that markers are coming. No, I want it to be available. So you can go back. See, whenever you click show for all the series, markers are defaultly available. Now, for now, what I'll do, I'll close the data labels. Now you can easily view it. Now you have options to change the markers also. You want a square, you want a diamond, you want a triangular. Maybe I'll go with circle only and increase the size. See, if you increase that size of that marker, it will be increased. Now, it all depends. You want markers with a different color. Right? I can go with a different color. Line will have a different color and pointers or markers will have a different color. You want a border. Now, border is border for that circles. It is all, these formatting options are different for different visuals. So you have to go back and identify. For the line chart, markers are the most important formatting options. Along with lines, the markers are most important. The marker is very big in size. Maybe I'll keep it small, 6. This looks fine. And then you can go ahead and add some data label to it. Now, what I feel, data labels are very near to it, right? I mean, very near. Let's see if I can add some background to it. Now this looks good. Maybe I'll reduce the transparency. This is very readable. Um, let's see if I can add something. This is multi-line. I'll go with single line. Oh, there's not much difference. Position is auto. Position, I'll keep it to above only. So if I keep it above or if I keep it under, only underline or above line, yeah, I'm able to get that. So if I keep it to auto, both the components are visible. Now the reason is, if you see, darker shade is your sum of order quantity and lighter shade is your sum of profit. But for sum of profit, we are getting million values, which is correct. Whereas for sum of order quantity, it is in thousands, right? Now again, I'll go back, secondary y-axis. I'll change it to the same data font family. I'll change that color to blue. Now you see it is coming. It is giving you some. Okay, the text is total number of orders, not order quantity. I'll keep it to total number of orders. Right, this is my title. I will change it to 14, Arial black, and I'll change the color to the blue. Almost looking similar. Now, the big thing is display units are in millions default because towards left, sum of profit is in millions, whereas towards right, it is in thousands. So I can change the left or I can change the secondary y-axis to thousands. I can change the secondary y-axis to thousands. So, okay, it is giving you in thousands. Now the question is, how come data labels are 0, 0 only, right? I'll again come down. Let me see. Data labels are in millions. I'll keep it to auto. If I keep it to auto, it will automatically adjust that towards left, which is sum of profit is in millions, towards right, which is sum of order quantity is in thousands. Now, I don't want the legends to be also sum of profit and sum of order quantity, right? It has to be total profit and it has to be total number of orders. So how do I update that? You have an option called as legend. Legend, go to text. Let's see if I'm able to update it. Is there an option to update it? Circles are there. Maybe see, you want the legends to be in circles. Okay, you can take lines. You can take line and markers. You can take markers only, or you can take marker with a circle. So you have all the options and you can change the position of legend. But the thing is, I want to update this. It is not sum of profit. It is not sum of order quantity. It should be total profit and total number of orders. So I have no option in the legend, right? I cannot update it. There's no option. So I'll go back to the add data to your visual. Here you can update. Let's see if I'm updating. How do you update the value? See, column will be same. Column value will be same. This is total profit. I'm only updating the display value. You see, if I've updated total profit, here in the legend also, it is automatically getting updated. So if I hover on it, the column is same, sum of electronic store profit, but you have only changed the display value. Again, I'll come down to the secondary y-axis. This is total number of orders. Total number of orders. That's it. Straightforward. So even that will be changed. So I'm not changing the column value. I'm not renaming that column. I'm only changing the display value. That column values will remain as it is in the data set. Only the display values are getting updated. This is how the line chart works. Line chart has an additional advantage of secondary y-axis, but you have to take only 3 conditions at a time with respect to x, y, secondary y, and the legend. Either you go with secondary y or either you go with the legend. Any questions in this line chart? Okay, if there are no questions, now if anyone is feeling that this line chart, it is only a line, right? A simple line. All around that is wastage of space, right? Sometimes the stakeholders or clients are so creative that, okay, the line chart is good, it is giving you the trend. But the question is, it is only very small line, right? That color line is there. But next to that, there is a lot amount of white space, right? There is a lot amount of white space. I don't like this. Can you please make sure that whichever line chart is there, below that line chart, a color should be applied, right? This is looking very open. This is looking like very open, right? Now, how do I get this? And again, the best option, where do you use this line chart? To give some trend of information. There is some trend, right? Change. 18 million, there is a drop to 6.5 million. There is again a drop to 4.5, and again there is a drop to 2.9. So this is a trend of information. Wherever you feel you want to give some trend, upper trend, lower trend, upper circuit, lower circuit, your if you are a share, I mean, you know how share market works. The line chart is best option for a share market trend. The line chart is best option to give you last 5 years of profit up and increase or decrease of profit, last 5 years of revenue business. So wherever there is a trend of information, you have to blindly go with the line chart. But if a customer is not satisfied means he's saying that I want the area to be also covered below that line. Along with this line chart, the very next chart which is available is called as area chart. Both the charts are similar. There is no change. The only thing is if I change it to area chart, it will be colored information below that line. It's just a colored information. You see, for area chart also, we have all 4 conditions, X, Y, secondary Y, and legend. Forget about small multiples and tooltips that are additional. And these two components are available for all the visuals. You have X, Y, and secondary Y as well as legend. This is your area chart. Now, area chart looks interesting, right? It is covering that complete color. Now, the question is, the darker shade is less in amount. That is why darker shade is overlapping the lighter shade. Lighter shade is for profit. Darker shade is for total number of orders. So this is your area chart. Not much difference. Both the charts are used for trends. But if you feel line chart is looking very white space, right? It is very, only line is getting colored. You can go with area chart. There are customers who come up with some logics, right? Okay, I don't like this line chart. Okay, even if it is satisfying, if it is giving the answer for my query, but I want that information to be colored. Why can't you use a color information? Go with the area chart. Now, let's suppose if I go to formatting of the area chart, let's see what options I have. See, all the options are same. The only thing is you will get the shade area, shading of that area. Now you have all the options. You can change the color of that shade area also if you want. Or else you can increase the transparency, right? More the transparency, that means it will be a line chart only. See, 100% transparency means everything behind of it would be background color only. Now, if I reduce the transparency to 0, the darker the color would be. Right? How dark? I mean, this color is very, I mean, darker is not good. Maybe I'll keep it to 25. Even 25 is not good. I'll keep it to 50. Just look, 50 means that means there is some overlapping of colors. It will be able to identify. It is very easy to identify as well. So it all depends. How do you format that specific visual? This is your area chart. You have markers. Markers are already there. Color, okay, it's already there. So nothing special, nothing different. Only shade area is what you can make sure you will be able to change that information. The color combination, transparency of that colors. Now, if I again go back to the bar chart, for this bar chart, if I go to format your visual, see in the bar chart, there is an option called as zoom slider. If I go back to the page 2 in the column chart, go to format your visual, again you have an option called as zoom slider. If I go to page 3, which is your line chart or area chart, both, even if it's a line chart also, if I go back to the formatting, there is this zoom slider. And if I change this visual to area chart, there is this zoom slider. Now, what is this zoom slider? Zoom slider is common for all the visuals which we have covered until now. Might be column, bar, or line or area chart. It is common for all that components. What is this zoom slider? See, only observe the visual. If I add a zoom slider, towards left, there is a slider which is added. Now, one advantage is in the zoom slider, you can add a zoom slider to secondary Y axis also. You can keep it on. Default, it would be added to primary Y, but once you click on the additional formatting, you can add it to the secondary Y. Now, what is this? You can increase or decrease the size of the axis with the help of zoom slider, right? If you're decreasing, that means the 20 million will go above. It is not visible, but the zoom slider will help you to get the exact values, exact pointers, right? This, if I go back, 6.5 million, I'm unable to understand where that 6.5 million is. I have to come down. This is how 6.5 million will work. You want this exact pointer. Zoom slider will help you to zoom the axes. Reduce the zoom, increase the zoom. And this is available for almost every visual which has X and Y axis. Wherever there are axes, this zoom slider is available. Not for every visual, but wherever there are axis related information. Like column and bar also has axis, line and area chart also has axis. So if I go back to the column chart, maybe inside this column chart, I'll go to format and I'll add that zoom slider. A zoom slider will be available. You can minimize that slider to check the exact values. So this is just an additional component which is given from the visual point of perspective to check the exact pointer information and to zoom and unzoom the axis information. Now, is it that only for numeric data zoom slider is available? Yeah, I mean, that is the reason for wherever there is a numeric data, only in that case you can zoom and unzoom it, right? Is it there a requirement to use a zoom slider for store, online, reseller, the categorical data? It is not required, right? It is not compulsion. If I go back, slider labels is different. Slider tooltips is different. For x-axis, there is no slider because the x-axis doesn't require, it's a categorical data. Pointers are for numerical data, right? So that is the reason y-axis is always recommended for the zoom sliders. And if I go to bar chart, in case of bar chart, x-axis will get a zoom slide. If I go and if I add a zoom slider here, x-axis will get, because x-axis is a numeric data in case of a bar chart. Right? So this is how zoom slider will make sure that you will have a certain advantage of zooming it and unzoom it. And zoom sliders are not compulsory, right? If a client is coming back and asking, I want to check the exact pointers, you might end up adding this. But this is not compulsion, or this is not even default. Until and unless if there is a special request from a client, in that case only zoom sliders are recommended. Now, we have seen so many charts. The thing is, I'll go back. So for the specific visual, what I want is, I want to give the information ascending manner. Ascending means store should come last, catalog should come first, because catalog has the least number of values, both for sum of profit and total number of orders also. So how do I sort that information, right? I want to order the information ascending, low to high. This is default descending. So whenever you hover on that visual, once you are hovering, you have three icons. One is this focus mode. Focus is available. Focus means it will focus that visual. It is not changing the size of the visual. You're just in the focus mode. If I click back to the report, it will go back to the normal size. So if you're working on any specific visual where you feel that the visual is very small and you want to work it as if it's a large enlarged visual, always use this focus mode. It will focus as if it's a zooming that visual, and it will give you a better clarification or better idea. Now, I'll go back to the normal view. Along with this, there is this option called as more options. Now, inside this more options, one is remove. Remove means remove your visual. One is spotlight. Spotlight means it will only highlight this visual. Now, what is spotlight? Wherever there are more than two visuals, in that case, spotlight will work better. So if I click on spotlight, the other visual is as if it's there not present. Only the visual which is you have spotlighted, it is visible. That's how spotlight will work. These are all very common, straightforward options. I'll go back to here and I'll go to the more options. Show as a table. So whatever data you have dragged and dropped to this visual, you want to get that information as if it's a small table. See, a table would be created. This table is not created. This is just a view. This is just a focus view of the table. So store is having this much profit and these many number of orders. Online is having this much profit and these many number of orders. So to get some additional insights, this table view is available. And if you click back to the report, the table is gone. It is just for viewing purpose. It is not stored. It is not saved. So you have that option, show as a table. You have export data. Now export means if you click on export, an Excel file would be exported. Excel or a CSV file, whatever data type it is, it will be exported. Now, what it will export? Only whichever columns you have dragged to this visual, that information will be exported. So these are all options. And At the last, there is this option called as sort axis. What is this sort axis? I want to sort the information from ascending manner, low to high. This is default descending. And which you want to sort? I want to sort total profit, right? I'm not sorting channel. If you sort channel, it will be alphabetically sorted. If I sort channel, see, and it is descending, right? I want to sort it by ascending. Catalog will come first, alphabetically C is first, then O is there, then R is there, and at the last S is there. This is sorting by x-axis, which is by channel. Again, I'll go back. I want to sort by total profit, and I want to sort it as ascending. You see, catalog is coming first, reseller, online, and store. You want to sort by total profit or total number of orders, it is one and the same. Even if I sort it by orders, it will remain the same, right? Even wherever there is a high profit, the number of orders would be more. Wherever there is a low profit, number of orders would be less. So sorting of axis is also there. Sort by x-axis, sort by y-axis, sort by secondary y-axis. And how do you want to sort? Either by ascending or either by descending. If it's numeric, it will start from low to high, which is ascending. And if it is any character data, character alphabetically A to Z, it will sort. It all depends, either by ascending or descending. Descending means Z to A and high to low. So sorting is also available here. Now, along with this, the latest Power BI, in the latest update, this is this option, new visual calculation. Now, we'll not discuss this. This is more a kind of DAX related entities. For now, we will not discuss this. Maybe once we are good with the all charts, once we are moving to the DAX, over there, I'll explain this new visual calculation, how it works. So any questions on this sorting of information or any options which we have seen now? Okay. Assuming that there are no questions, now I'll only take 10 more minutes. One of the important topic with respect to Power BI. One, I mean, in the day 2 or day 3, when we have downloaded this Power BI desktop and we have seen what is the UI of Power BI desktop, the above one was ribbon bar. Towards left, we have report view, data view, model view, DAX query view. Towards right, we have 3 tabs, right? One is data tab, one is visualization tab, and one is filters tab. Now, this filters tab is one of the important tab which is present in Power BI. Filters means you will get the logic itself from that word. That means you are filtering some information. You are filtering some information. So what is that filter information? There are 3 different filters. One is filter on a visual, one is filter on a page, one is filter on all the pages. That means filter on a complete report. These filters are very, very important. How that filters works? Now I want to show channel by total profit and order, but I only want to show few channels, not all channels. Maybe I don't want to show reseller. I want to show catalog, online, and store. So this filters will definitely help you to click on whatever conditions you have. What is filter is? Filter, whenever you drag and drop any column to a visual, that column would be default available inside filter on a visual. This is filter on a single visual, right? I'm not filtering on a complete page. I'm only filtering on a single visual. This is filter on a visual. You want to filter anything. Maybe if I go to orders, see, this is a numerical data. That is the reason you are getting a different option here. If it's a categorical data, you will have a different filter tab here. If it's a numeric, it's a different tab, right? Numeric means less than 100. So I only want to show orders which are less than 15 million, not 18 million. 15 million is what? I have to add that number, right? I have to add that number. Now, if I apply a filter, oh, am in the total number of orders. Rather, it should be profit. Yeah. It is less than 15 million. So it is 1.5 million. Now this is 15 million. So I'm only showing the orders which are less than 15 million. So this filter is nothing but you want to filter some information. And what kind of data type it is, depending on that, the filter conditions would vary. So filter, I'm not going in depth of filters. Only thing is I'm just verifying what is the use of these filters. Filters are used for filtering some information. I don't want to see reseller. I've removed that reseller. Right? I cannot remove that reseller from the data set itself because if you remove it from the data set, it will impact. Whereas what I have done is I've only removed it from the filter. Now this is filter on a visual. There is filter on a page. Now how it works, I'll go to the page 2. In this page 2, let me give option. Just a moment. I'm resharing it again. In this page 2, what I want to show is, again, here in this page 2 also, I want to remove that reseller channel. I want to remove that reseller channel. But there are two visuals. So for every time you have to click on this visual. On this visual, you have to go to this channel. Select all, remove the reseller. Reseller is gone. Again, you come down to the second visual, click on this visual, filter on the visual, go to channel, select all, remove reseller, reseller is gone. But for two visuals you can do, if there are 20 visuals, how you can do for each and every visual, right? Only if it's for one or two visuals, you can do filter on a visual. But you want that filter to be applied on all the visuals of that page. In that case, the best option is you have filter on that page. Right? Filter on visual we have seen now. As of now, we have only seen filter on a visual. This part, this option we have seen. But there is this filter on this page. I want to apply filter on a page. So I'll not select anything. See, if I'm clicking on a white space, that means you are not selecting any visual. So you will have only two options, filter on this page and filter on all visual. Until and unless you're clicking on any visual, filter on that visual will open. But I'll click on the white space and I want to apply that channel filter where I don't want reseller. How do I do that? Filter on that page. That means if you apply filter on this complete one page, which is page 2, all the visuals will impact. In that case, you have to drag and drop that channel to the filter on this page. You have to drag that column. You're not adding any column. You're just dragging that for a filter condition. Select all, remove reseller. Automatically, both the visuals will affect because you are doing filter on this page, not on a single visual. If there are 10 visuals, all that 10 visuals will have an impact on that particular page. This is filter on a page. Good enough? Now I'll clear this filter. I'll go to page 3. Inside this page 3 also there is filter on a single visual. I'll remove this filter. Now what I will do, I'll go to the page 1 and what I want is I want to apply that reseller filter. That means reseller I don't want in all the pages. In that case, you have to use filter on all the pages. That means it would be filter on a complete report. If there are 10 pages, all the 10 pages will be affected with this filter. Get that filter channel on all the pages, select all, remove reseller. You see, you are in the page 1, but you have used filter on all pages. If I go to page 2 also, filter on all pages is present. There is no reseller. If I go to page 3 also, filter on all pages is there. There is no reseller. So these filters are common for all the pages, which is filter on all the pages. Filter on that page means only on that page. If there are 10 visuals, it will affect. And only filter on a visual means only that visual will change. This is the benefit of using filters. To filter out some information, you can use this option on a visual, on a page, and on all the pages. That means on a complete one single report. 3 different filters. Now, there are a few questions. Where is the visual used? Where is the visual used? Why am I saying trend? Why am I saying trend again? Again and again, I'm saying trend. Wherever you want to show information in trend, go with line chart, area chart. Trend means some numerical trend, last 5 years trend, last 6 months trend, last 10 years trend. You have to go with that. Column and bar chart doesn't have any specific as such hard coded requirement. If you feel column chart is best fit, go with column chart. If you feel bar chart is best fit, go with bar chart for certain numerical information. But bar chart and column charts are not recommended for a complete trend. If it's a trend, go with line chart. So again, I'll go back. I'm noting all these visuals, right? I'll create a separate Excel for it. Let me show you one Excel. Give me a moment. I'm sharing my screen again. See where and how, what is that visual, what is the best fit, what is the unfit. We will try to create a Excel sheet of it like this, where it will contain what is column chart, what is bar chart, what all options are present, which is the best fit, how can we use it, and where do we use it. Every information for all the charts, I'll try to create an Excel for it, and I'll be sharing this on every Fridays. Now we have only started with now. That's the reason I'm mentioning it in Notepad. Starting from Monday, I'll be creating this Excel sheet so that it is beneficial for you folks going further. If you feel if you're stuck somewhere, where to use what kind of visual, you can refer this sheet. Now, along with this, I'll also create a tax explanation as well, where to use what kind of tax functions. So all this is created from our end and it will be shared on weekly basis. On every Friday, I'll be sharing this. So it's beneficial for you to go through, and maybe going further also, it will be useful for you. Right. So we kind of covered filters as well, one of the most important part of Power BI. And keep it in mind that never close this filter pane. Close means you can minimize it. But how do you close it is if you go to the ribbon bar in the view tab, default filters pane is auto enabled. If you click on this, filters pane is gone. You can remove it for some time if you feel, but keep sure and make sure that if you are unable to view that filters pane, click on this filters pane. That filters pane should be available. You should always keep it in the minimized manner also, but you can keep it. Any questions on what we covered today? Any questions? How many charts we covered yesterday? 4. Today 2. It will take still 7 or 8 more days to complete all the default charts. After this, we will be going through additional more visuals, and parallelly, we will be learning Power Query transformations. So ideally, our flows start with visuals, understand how the visuals work, understand the data analogy, then go with the external visuals and cleaning of data. Post that, we will start with basic report building and DAX together. So once DAX is done, then at the last, we will move to publishing, how to publish, how to refresh, how to schedule refresh, how to manage the data flows, all related to Power BI service will come into picture in the last sessions. Last 10 days, last 7 to 8 days, we'll go through Power BI service.
Sir, on the development side, we're able to apply the filters. Can it be possible at the dashboard level as well?
Yes, you can apply filters once you publish this report also. Even that is visible. But for an end user, it is not recommended to apply filter from the, I mean, if you drag and drop a column, you can apply a filter. But if you publish this report, you cannot drag a column to filter tab. Filter tab would be available. You can, if this option, see, if the end user, you have published this report. Once you publish this report, there is no visualization or data tab. Only filters tab would be there and visual would be available. So that person who is viewing this published report, he can change the filters here. He can change it in the online version. If he wants to remove something, he can remove. Maybe he wants to check only catalog and store, he can check this. So that
Okay.
option is there, but he cannot add a column to that filter pane. As a developer, you can add.
Can filter with the existing thing only,
Yeah,
whatever you
he'll,
have
he'll,
uploaded.
he'll filter whatever is available. That's it. Now
So
the
Manoj
question.
here.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Manoj.
yeah, thank you. So sir, how are we going to deal with the DAX system? Like, are we going to into advanced DAX or not?
There is no minimal, there is no easy DAX, there is no advanced DAX. There is all DAX means DAX. Everything I'll see. I'll take an example, a very funny example. When I started my career in 2017, the very first company I've visited that company. Visited in the sense we were in the first few days, 7 days. So there was a senior person who was a trainer. Trainer means he's not a trainer, he's ideally a working professional. So he used to train some technical skills. So there was one person from our team, or maybe from our batch, who was hired as a fresher. So he asked a question that who wants to learn Java? Or what do you know about Java? So that one person's told that, I mean, that one person answered that I know core Java. See, this core Java is only to give you a bifurcation that there is a small and simple Java and there is a advanced Java, core Java and advanced Java. In DAX also, there is a simple DAX and there is a complex DAX, but both together forms a DAX. There is no core DAX, there is no advanced DAX. It is only DAX. So once you enter a field, there is no easy, there is no hard. Everything is completely available. So if I'm going to cover DAX, you might see all the DAX functions, almost 100 DAX functions we will try to cover. I might have not mentioned all the DAX functions here, but usually 100 DAX functions. There are some DAX functions which are very straightforward. I don't even mention that, but we will cover that also.
Ritesh, I have one question.
Mhm.
So, when means are we going to cover some projects?
Yes. See, keep one thing in mind. Whatever data I would be sharing while working on projects, it's all random data. No company will save or give you the real-time data. Yeah. Along with that, I'm not sure how many of you are following KSR. If you follow KSR conducts some hackathons. Hackathons will have a very large chunk of data. So data means, see, there is a current hackathon going on the property data set, right? There is some property related data set, and you have to create a visual, you have to create a report out of it. So you can, hackathons are free. Anyone can, who is not a part of KSR also, they can enroll for it and then they can clear that hackathons. So there are hackathons conducted. There are some projects which I would also be going to cover. So that is also there. This is not that we will only teach information, drag and drop and on certain data sets. No, I'll be going to cover that as
Okay, thank you.
well. How do you get a, I might have shared the data set. You didn't got it yesterday? Let me go back. Just a moment. There is something which I'm missing, might be. If I go to chat option, meeting group, is there an option to share the data set? This is there. Yes, give me a moment.
Hi, sir.
Go ahead, go ahead. You have any
Actually,
questions?
today's my first day to attend the class, but I heard that you're finishing the demo classes. So
Hmm.
then how I'll recover all the classes then?
Okay. See, today is not a demo session. It is the fifth session. Okay. See, keep one thing in mind. None of the session is a demo session. Demo is nothing but we are giving. Demo means what? They'll give you a demo and they'll close it. We are continuing with what I'm teaching. So if you want, again, I'm not sure if you have attended from start of the session today. You
Mhm.
want to check previous recordings, go to our KSR Data Vision website from the Google, click on sign in. You have to create an account. Here, create a new account is there. Once you have to create an account with your email ID, you can log in. Once you click on, once you open this, you will get an option called as Explore Courses. Explore Courses, go to free sessions, the very first option, which is this. Click on this.
Mhm.
It is not buy now. You will get an option called as Access Course. For first 5 sessions, it is not buy. So for the first 5 sessions here, you can go to class records. You will check
Okay.
previous 4 recordings also, and today's recording is live. So it will take some time to get it uploaded.
Okay. And so you're going to only teach Power BI, or you're going to teach SQL and Fabric and Python and
Good.
Excel?
I guess you joined in between. This is what our complete set is. You want to get what we will be teaching. Again, the same option. If you go to recordings, you are in the class records. You need to go to
Okay.
lessons option. Lessons option, you towards left, there is this course curriculum. If you click on it, it will open that course curriculum. You can download all the components which I would be covering. Everything is mentioned, including SQL. SQL required for a data analyst and engineering point of view, Power BI end-to-end, and Azure components, which are specifically required for a data analyst, more specific to ETL. So all this we would be going to cover in this course.
And what about the Fabric?
It is part of it. The course itself is given a name of Microsoft Fabric.
Okay.
Power BI
So,
means Fabric nowadays. If you learn
okay.
Power BI, you have to learn Fabric. That's a part and parcel of it.
Oh, got it. And the total duration of this course is complete course. How many
4 months.
duration it?
We have already started with SQL. We have kind of completed SQL for this batch. You will be joined with Power BI. Once see, if you want to access SQL recordings, you will be shared recordings. If you're not satisfied, there are some parallel batches going on for different courses and different skill sets. So you can attend that SQL batches. If you're even not satisfied with that, once Power BI and ADF, which is more kind of Azure, is done, we will be again starting with SQL. You will be added there. So you have all 3 options available for SQL. So duration is 4 months, Power BI 2 months, SQL 1 month, Azure 1 month.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, and course details, payment details, I've shown you 30K for 3 installments, 2 installments, 14, one-time installment, 27K. How do you enroll for this paid sessions? Same options. You have to go to explore courses rather than free sessions. You have to go to paid sessions. Inside this paid sessions, this option is there. You have to click on this option. Click on buy now. This is one mode of making a payment. You have all 3 options which are available here. You have to select which option is the best fit for you. You have to go with, or else the next option is you can connect with any of us here, these contacts, and I've also shared few contacts in the chat, common chat, so you can check that. So you have to connect with us. So yeah, one of us will be helping you how to make direct payments like bank transfer or NEFT, or maybe direct UPI transfers without this website. So even that is also available. Okay. See, keep one thing in mind. Why am I saying this is of 30K is or 27K if you're making one-time payment? we will be giving you premium per user license, which is 2000 Indian rupees per month. For 2 months, it is 4000 we are spending. So, which is more than sufficient. 2 months, that doesn't mean if I give you the license today, until and unless you activate it, it will not get started.
What is
So,
PPU license?
premium per user. Premium license, pro license, premium license are there. In premium, there are premium per user, premium per capacity. We will be giving per user license.
The Power
This is
BI
Power
license
BI
you're
license,
talking
sir.
about?
Yeah, Power BI license.
Okay,
So what
got it.
can we do with that license?
How do you share these reports? Power BI service. Power BI service, you need a license. You need to use some external charts, you need a license. If you want to
Oh,
download external charts, you need a license. You need to log in like this. Without login, you can create all the default charts. You can create all the visuals with the help of default charts. You want to publish this report to the service, you need this log. Power BI service would be activated with the help of premium or a pro license. I have shared the dataset along with chat. You can go through that. Someone has raised an hand. Yeah, Anirban, you have a question? If you're speaking on mute.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. So I'm asking like for data analyst, like basically this course is a data analyst course, right? So in data analyst, like in LinkedIn or in Naukri, I've seen like Python is also like it is mandatory. Like they are asking for Python also with Python
That
SQL
is
and
not
this.
also. That is not also. How the data analyst, this is more a kind of DA with BI. If you check any BI opening, there is no Python. Now, Python with SQL is also data analyst. But in that case, there is no reporting. You cannot do any reporting here. This is only for analysis of data. If it is DA with BI, it includes reporting, it includes SQL, it includes cloud. If you go with Python with SQL, this is only data analysis. There is no cloud requirement here. Not compulsion. If you know cloud, it's an added advantage here. No cloud for with Python and SQL. This is also DA. DA with BI includes reporting, SQL, and cloud. If you know Python, this is added advantage. Added advantage is if you know Python.
Okay,
This is
so
not compulsory.
for in this case, like Python is mandatory
No,
or not
no,
mandatory?
it is not mandatory. Again, see if I'm explaining that way, that means it isn't mandatory, right? These three components are part of DA/BI. If you only go with DA, purely DA, which is Python with SQL, there is no cloud requirement also there. You have to only work on queries. Now, why again differentiating here is this is less coding. This is pure coding. Difference.
Okay. And in this DA no cloud, this one Power BI also is there or not there?
No,
Okay.
that is what I've said. This is pure coding. You have to work on Python queries. With the help of Python queries only, you can create some visuals also there. Rendering, Python data rendering is there.
So there will be a package difference for both of them?
You are only going with a package with this Power BI and reporting. You can expect a package of around 25 LPA. Same package can be expected here, 25 LPA. The difference is, again, I'm trying to say this is what the difference is.
Okay, sorry, this is out of the question actually. One of my friend, he has in a startup company 5 years experience in Power BI developer, but he has only intermediate. Can he join this course and there is any possibility to get him job or he needs a
Yeah.
degree?
No. If you have a degree, your college degree, that is more than enough. Why do you need a degree here? If you know how to clear interviews, no company will ask you, do you have this BI degree or not? If you have your college degree, your engineering, your BSc, your BBA, your any BA, any non-tech degrees also, your BCom, all these degrees are more than enough.
But
No,
one question, like even if we have degrees, like we have to use like Power BI and other stuffs in the workplace, right? And then like just by having degree, I don't think like we can practically work on the
Yeah.
workplace, right?
See, you can get a degree with some money also. Until and unless you practice on that specific tool,
Yeah.
it is up to you. If you can clear interview, that is more than enough, right? Clear interview, and once you go into that company, nowadays there is a new trend. People are clearing interviews with some externals also. But once you enter a company, you'll not be able to, justify for role which you're hired, right? You'll not be able to
Yeah.
solve this. So that is more important.
so on he has only intermediate, then he can join.
Yeah,
So
he can.
oh, yeah,
He
thank
can
you so much.
definitely join this.
So like after completing this 4 months, can we get a job as a data analyst, like even entry level or something like that?
See,
After
what I'll
completing this 4
highlight
months?
is this job. I mean, the course is developed in such a way that if you have any prior experience, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, any experience, we can show minimum 4 years of experience as Power BI for the experienced folks.
Actually, I have zero
Perfect.
experience since I was an MBA, like
Just a
majoring in
moment, ma'am.
finance.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Just a moment. I'll try to complete and then you can ask a question. One who has prior experience, prior experience means more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. We can show minimum 4 years of experience. One who is having 2, 3 years of experience, we can show that 2, 3 years of experience as full Power BI. But the thing is, you need to have experience, not the fake experience. Even if it's a non-tech experience, nowadays wherever you go, Power BI is present in any sector. So we can showcase that. So we as a KSR team will develop your resume in that manner, right? So now the question is, if you are fresher, you have zero experience,
Yeah,
zero,
zero.
any experience, any non-tech also zero experience. Yes, for a fresher. Now the thing is, I'll highlight here. For a fresher, it is slightly difficult. Difficult in the
Oh, I
sense
know. Yeah.
is slightly different rather. How is it different is you have to put some additional efforts. You have to create a portfolio that I have worked on so and so projects. This is my portfolio. Our team will help you to create your portfolio also. Portfolio means you need to create a GitHub and you need to share that GitHub link where you have published your projects. So once you share that GitHub link in your resume, one of your interviewers will go through that GitHub. If he feels that you're a good fit, then shortlisting probability is more there. And this is not only for DA. If you're a fresher and you want to enter this field, for a fresher, it is slightly different than a normal experienced person because he has to put some additional effort, which a push is given from our KSR team, nothing apart from it. The thing is, you have to be different than what, okay, how an interview can be for a fresher, it would be slightly different, right? Interview for a fresher is easy, whereas interview for 2, 3 years is intermediate, and interview for 4 years of experience or more than 4 years of experience is high level. So it varies. If you're a fresher, interviews are easy. The thing is, you have to put some additional effort to get your resume shortlisted, and you have to create your portfolios. You have to create you have worked on so and so things. You have to manage. You have to explain them. That's how your profile would be getting shortlisted. Again, I'm trying to say this course is developed for more a kind of less coding. SQL will have coding. Apart from it, there is more a kind of formulas only in Power BI, not much amount of coding. You have any gap, you are a fresher, you are from a non-tech background, irrespective of whatever background, you can go through this course. You have 1 year gap, 2 years gap, 1.5 year, 2.5 year, yes.
There is no gap, but I'm just a fresher in the data analytics field.
That's fine. That's fine. Again, I have said, right? It is slightly different for a fresher. Interviews are easy, but to get shortlisting is what the important thing is. How do you get shortlisted? Fresher resumes are very straightforward. I worked on so and so thing, but if I go and ask that fresher in the interview, he'll not be able to answer it. So you should be able to answer it, and you have to create a portfolios, right? That I've worked on so and so projects. This is how I have created my projects. You have to showcase them in the resume. Only in that case, your shortlisting probability is high. But the interview clearing probability is very high for fresher because interviews are very straightforward, easy.
Yeah. So is it possible that like we get selected for the job, but we do not know much about the Power BI and the complex things, and then
How
we
it will work, ma'am? How it will work? The question is, if you are attending these 4 months, now at
Oh,
the
okay.
end, you're not putting an effort. You clear an interview. See, clearing interview, that doesn't mean you can easily clear it. Once you clear the interview, that means you are confident enough that you can work on that specific work or which is going to be shared with you going further, right?
Mhm.
Again, I'm trying to say, do not clear interviews with some external people.
Yeah,
Clear
lots
your
of people
interview
are
by
like
your
making
own.
fake
Yes.
experience or something like that.
Yeah. No, don't use any fake experience. We or maybe I as a trainer, we as a KSI team never ever say that use fake
Yeah, I mean,
experience.
I'm talking about other, like I have seen lots of people.
Mhm. You have any non-tech experience, we can showcase it as technical. That is valid. No
Yeah,
company
it's
will
a
go back and check
non-tech. Yeah, it's a banking experience actually.
for you.
Yes.
You have banking experience, and we can showcase that it as a banking experience, Power BI banking, right? With
But
a
like
data
I
analyst.
don't have to use like Power BI or SQL or any like related to
You
data.
might have not used, but we can showcase it in the resume. Once you clear
Yeah.
this course, once you complete this course, you will be able to showcase your previous experience as if it's a Power BI experience. That is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, all right.
Some other questions, just a moment. Yes, Bhavani, you have 4 years of experience. We can showcase all it. The thing is, you need to have that valid experience. That's it. Your resume would be prepared as if you have 4 years of experience. See, it all depends. We will always personally connect with you that, okay, you want to showcase all 4 years or only 3 years. Maybe you might have started with some non-tech Excel file, Excel related skill set, and then you moved out to Power BI. We can showcase it that way. It depends from individual to individual. There are people, I'll take an example. One of our batches, previous batches, had a person who had 17 years of experience into the communication industry. Communication means your newspaper, right? Media industry. So that person has got a job of 25 LPA. He had 17 years of experience. What we have made sure is he might have started with a media person, but since last 3-4 years, he's working as a Power BI developer in his media communication firm. So we kind of shown that experience. So somewhere we have options open. The thing is, we will personally connect with you. It all depends how confident you are. We will always ask you a question that, okay, you are confident enough, you want to showcase all 4, 5, 6 years or only 3 years, or prior to that you can showcase as if it's a, you might have started with Excel, you might have started with basic SQL, then you moved out to Power BI. That's how we can showcase. Anuj, you are part of the SQL batch, right? Anuj Sawant, are you part of the SQL batch? How come your random questions are coming in the chat? Right? You might have asked this question at the start of SQL, so I might have answered it. Okay. Again, to answer it, yes. This is for people who are joining with Power BI, one who have joined with SQL, they already know how is it going. Okay, any random questions again? From Monday, we'll be starting with paid sessions. If you are confident enough, okay, you are able to understand what I'm trying to teach, right? We'll never push you, that will never pressurize you, enroll. The thing is, if you're able to understand that it is your possibility, then it is your choice to come back and enroll. And 40 sessions, see, we are in the 5th session now. Forget about first session. We never touched the technical skill. In the second session also, we have only discussed Power BI components. But from ideally third session, we kind of started with real-time Power BI usage. So 3, 4, 5, today's officially, you can call it as a third Power BI session. Still, there would be 35 Power BI sessions. So we would be covering with a complete small, every component of Power BI with that same pace. Okay. While working on DAX, the pace would be slightly higher because formulas are there, direct formulas. But what we are going to cover, yes, the same pace we would be going to cover. We will be touch basing each and every point, including your Microsoft Fabric. Fabric is your Power BI service. Fabric is part of Azure Cloud. Let me clarify one doubt or maybe show it to you how this Fabric different is it. Right? You want to activate Fabric. You want to use Fabric. How that Fabric is activated. Fabric is activated with your premium per user license for 60 days. Post 60 days, you have to pay an amount for it. How a payment happens for the Fabric. I'm in the Azure portal. This is your cloud, Azure cloud. The very fourth icon which you can see is your Microsoft Fabric. Fabric is also part of cloud. Fabric is nothing different. The only thing is what you are doing in cloud. There are 200 plus services available in cloud. In Fabric, they have combined 25 different services which are used by data analyst, data engineer, or data scientist together to form a one single environment. You want to activate Fabric, you have to activate Fabric from here. Click on create Fabric capacity, and you can see what are the prices for the Fabric. These are the licenses which are available. F64 means storage capacity would be high. Companies who have minimum 5 to 6 Power BI developers and who are working on large scale Power BI projects, minimum requires F64 license, which will cost you 7,77,000 Indian rupees per month. The costly, cost effective, or maybe you can say it's very costly Fabric. If you go with individual services in cloud, they are much cheaper than Fabric. Companies expect employees to be good in Fabric. Yes, we are going to cover Fabric. You need not worry. 60 days of premium per user license will give you Fabric. Any other questions again? Any random questions also? Age limit. Srinivas had a question. Any age limit? No, age limit is, um, I mean, just maybe if I ask a question back to you, Srinivas, are you there? Yeah, you're there. Okay. What's your age now? If you are okay to answer, just a question. And you are a working professional? Maybe technical. Okay, very good. So you are a technical or non-tech? Non-tech, that's fine. So just to simplify, Srinivas has 18 years of experience, totally into non-tech. Yes, you can enroll for this course. See, for Power BI, you can expect up to 30 lakhs. Post 30 lakhs, you need to have some additional Azure technical exposure to get more than 30 lakhs, more than 30. But up to 30 lakhs, you can definitely expect. With what kind of experience you have, just have completed industrial production engineering in 2019. Okay, that's fine. You can go with this course. Meghna. Definitely. I mean, again, I'll try to say, you might have no experience prior, but we can always, as I've said, if you want to enter this field, uh, a basic internship you can do. There are some internships also which are coming to PSR. So we will ask you to do some internship for 6 months, 3 months. That would be beneficial for you. If that internship company is also asking you to continue a job there, you can also go with there. Anyways, we will prepare your resume as if you have created some reports in Power BI, some projects in Power BI. We can create some portfolios to it, and you can add a portfolio or projects link to your resume. That would be beneficial. And that's how it works. Shakil, how to enroll for paid sessions? Again, I've shown you, you might have skipped it. The same thing. visit our website, log into our website. If there is no login, activate, create your account, login. Paid sessions, you have to click on explore courses. Until now, we might have seen free sessions for 5 sessions. Paid sessions, you have to click on paid sessions, the third option which you're getting here. You have to click on it, make a payment from it. This is one possible way. If not this, you can reach out to our team for any offline payments like bank transfer, UPI direct payments. You can go it that way. Even that option is also available. This is one mode of making a payment from the website itself. If you're stuck somewhere, if you're confused somewhere, you can reach out to our team. They will definitely help you via offline manner. Yes. Go ahead. If you have any other questions, will there be open? Okay. You open to apply for which specific roles? Anirban, what roles you will apply? This course is developed for Power BI, right? So you'll be applying for Power BI roles. See, again, if you're overthinking, it will again confuse you. Maybe I'll make it more simpler. What I've covered today, the very first component is your VertiPaq engine. That one question I'll definitely ask if I'm trying to take any interviews. And if that person is not able to answer that question, that means he knows Power BI, but he knows Power BI all about drag and drop. That's it. Power BI is not a very straightforward and drag and drop tool. It has so many things under it. Right? Power BI is competing with the legacy, important legacies, you can say the leader tools like Tableau, legacy tools like MicroStrategy, ClickView. They were the market since last 15 years. This Power BI is 10 years old, and since last 6, 7 years, it is market leader. So it should, I mean, even Power BI is also powerful tool. It's not just only drag and drop, create visuals. There are many things in Power BI which we have to explore. For relevant 2.5 years of experience, I can get. Uh, can you name what's your complete name? I have a question in the chat. What's your complete name? Mr. DV. Okay, I'm Vaibhav. Okay, good. Sorry if I've called you differently. Vaibhav, you have a question that you are working as a QA engineer. See, uh, maybe I'll make it more simple answer. I have my previous batch student. You can check our KSR um, job testimonials also. That person had an experience of 3 years. He was working with TCS as some technical only, but not Power BI, related to some data cleaning or maybe something related to data, but not data analyst, not Power BI. So he had a salary in TCS. You know how salary works. He has joined TCS as a fresher. He had a salary of 5.5. He has got a job in TCS, Capgemini, and IBM with a package of 15, 14, and 12, it seems. 12 is for Capgemini, 15 is for Deloitte or something, and some 16 or 14 is for IBM. Now the question is, you cannot directly get a package of 16 what you are expecting until and unless you have counter offers. You can always take counter offers. Right? You have legal technical experience. You can showcase all that 2.5 as a Power BI experience. Even that works. If you have a package of 7, you cannot expect a package 9.4. Yes, you have a package of 9.4. Definitely, you can expect 20 also. You can expect 20 as well. 100% hike, 18 to 20. But never ever a company gives 100% hike until and unless you have counter offers. So you from 9.4, you can jump to 14, 13, 14, then from 13, 14 to 17, 17 to 20. That's how the packages increase. Any other questions again? If I check the chat also, no questions. Okay. Silence or maybe no questions in the chat, assuming that there are no further questions. You have any questions related to, you have any doubt also, please reach out to our team. They'll definitely help you. They'll be able to answer what you have, whatever queries you have. And yeah, I mean, once you are satisfied with that, again, you might go ahead and enroll for this course. That's how the process is. So feel free to have and ask any questions if you have. I'll still wait for 2 more minutes until 10 a.m. Again,
Sir,
post that 10 a.m.
one thing.
also back and reach out to it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you previously told like this Saturday there will be classes like regarding this
Not every
index.
Saturday, Anirban, not every Saturday.
Okay.
Right, we have
So,
only started with Power BI. You're expecting to be tomorrow. You're expecting some session. No, that is not the case. The very next Saturday, I'll be taking with resume preparation, starting with resume preparation. See, non-technical sessions would be on Saturday, Sundays, not every Saturday. Just to make sure we keep it on weekends, I say Saturday and Sundays, not every Saturday and Sunday.
okay, so for this one, will it be for enrolled candidates or non-enrolled candidates?
From next Saturday, it is enrolled, right? For all enrolled candidates only, right? Only
Okay.
placement assistant sessions are held for non and hackathons. This is for all non-enrolled candidates also. The LinkedIn preparation, all these are for paid sessions only going further. I'll be also taking Agile project management, how Agile works. Every company expects that person should know basics of Agile. So I'll be taking that as well.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Any
Thanks.
other questions?
How long will the classes be in the further days? Is it 1 hour or?
No, ma'am. Today is the last session. That's the reason it is going to 10. For you, it would. I mean, I know you. It's very late for you. I
It will
usually
be like
close my
12
class.
a.m. Like if it
I
goes like.
usually close my class by 9:15 a.m. IST. 15 minutes of buffer time is there only for questions. And I usually start by 8:10, not at 8 so exactly. Because I usually wait for 10 minutes at the start until and unless others also join.
Mhm.
So it would be of 60, 70 minutes, not more than that.
Okay.
Prajakta, sir, I have a legal experience with startup company, but no PF. Yes, I have seen. I mean, I have my own friend who worked in startup for 7 years. He didn't had any PF. He switched his job to Uber. Uber product, right? Uber, your taxi booking app. That company has cleared his background verification check. The only thing is never use fake company experience. Even if you're working I mean, you are working person, even if you don't have a PF, you will get all the legal documents. You will get Form 16 also, right? That Form 16 is also feasible. They might pay you salary, right? That salary slip is also feasible. If that company is there, you have salary, you have Form 16. Yes, that is all legal experience, even if you don't have PF. PF is one of the mode to check your previous experiences correct or not. It is not the only mode. Okay, I feel there are no questions further. Let me stop sharing. I would be closing this session. Thank you everyone for having so much patience and waiting until 10 a.m. Let's connect back on Monday. Have a great weekend and thank you again from the KSR team.
Thank you, Ritesh.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so prior to start the session, I'll also guide you. I'll only take 2 more minutes to guide you how do you enroll for the session going further, because today is the last fifth session which we are going to kind of cover off. Now, if you want to enroll for this, visit our KSR Data Vision website, click on sign in. Once you click on sign in, it will ask you to sign in here. Now, what is sign in here? If you have already created an account, okay, you can directly log in. For few of you, you might have been logging it on since last 2 or 3 days. Now, if you don't have an account, create a new account. There is this option below sign in, create a new account, mention your personal email IDs. So once the details are mentioned, your account would be activated. You need to log in here with the help of password, which you have mentioned once while you're creating an account. Now, once it gets logged in, you need to go to explore courses. The first 5 sessions are free. So that 5 sessions are available in free sessions here. Now, if you want to go ahead and enroll for the sessions starting from Monday, right, which are paid sessions, you have multiple options, right, multiple filters here. You need to go to this paid sessions. And once you go to this paid sessions, the first line, rightmost corner, you will find this data analytics with Power BI and MS Fabric. Now, even though this is of March 25, this is of March, not March, this is of April. We kind of started with March, but this is of April. So you can click here. It will take some time. Right. So once it opens, you can click on buy now. Right. So this is the payment gateway piece. Now, as I've clearly mentioned yesterday, how the fee structure works, how the installments works, you have all these options. Now, this is one mode of payment. Once you click on pay now, let's suppose I'm trying to make a complete payment now. Once I click on pay now, the gateway window will open, the Razorpay gateway window. And here you have multiple options. Now you have all the options which you want to make a payment of, maybe cards, UPI, net banking, wallet, or EMI. Now this EMI is different. This EMI is from the banks. The EMI which I have shown you at the start is from the KSR team. So don't use this EMI option. This is a separate option. This is with respect to banks. Now, this is one mode of making a payment. This is one of the mode of making a payment. The other few modes are, if you visit our website, scroll down, you'll get the contact numbers. Either of them you can contact, or you can send an email that I want to enroll for so-and-so course, which is starting from Monday as a paid session. One of us or one of our team members will definitely reach out to you. The other option is either you can directly make a UPI transfer, the Google Pay or Phone Pay UPI transfer. Even that option is also available without this website. So all the options are open. You have any questions while making a payment, you're not sure how it works, please feel free to call us. One of us from our team members will be reaching out to you to help you. Where are you stuck? Right. So now the question is, this is more a kind of, we're starting with Power BI. Even though we kind of completed SQL, that doesn't mean you will not be able to get SQL recordings. As I've said, there are 3 options open for SQL. You will get SQL recordings of March. That means for this batch, we started with SQL on March. Now, all that SQL recordings you are free to go with. If you're not satisfied with that, there are many simultaneous batches going on. Not only Power BI, there is Power Platform, there is data engineering, there is data science. For all these batches, SQL is compulsory. So you will be added to the SQL for that batches parallelly if you feel you want to get some live session recordings. Now, even if you're not satisfied with that, once I complete with Power BI and Azure for this batch, we will again start with a new batch with SQL. So you will be added there. So all 3 options are open for SQL. SQL has 22 different sessions. Now, different in the sense, 22 total sessions for SQL. Again, we have Monday to Friday sessions, not on weekends. Weekends, we have special sessions like hackathons, LinkedIn preparation, resume preparation, interview prep. All these sessions are on weekends. Now, Power BI, we have around 40 sessions, not exactly, but somewhere around 40 sessions. Azure also 1 month, again 22 sessions. So that's how the course duration is. And anywhere where you are stuck while enrolling, the best option is reach out to our team. One of us will be definitely helping you. Right now, okay, so Pawan has a question. May I know, do you accept international? Okay, yes. If you are from out of India also, even that works, Pawan. So what kind of payment you have? You have all the options. If you're logging from different country, right? That works. There won't be any problem. If someone wants to apply for the fresh batch, okay. When will be the fresh batch? Sir, the same timing fresh batch, it might take 2 months or more than 2 months. Rather, because Power BI and Azure, once that are completed, we would be starting with SQL again. So it would be fresh batch. For now, this is the best option which is available for you now. Anirban, I assume that you joined yesterday, but you think maybe you're thinking that first three sessions I've missed. First three sessions or first 5 sessions are more a kind of very slow pace. Even if you have some time these weekends, like Saturday and Sunday, you can go through these sessions in a 1 day also. So you'll be easily able to get. We are not covering much depth or it's a bit very, very fast pace in first 5 sessions. We kind of cover it very slowly. And let me share the additional contacts as well if you want to contact our team. Right, I've shared few additional contacts as well. You can always reach out to these contacts for any help or anywhere you're stuck.